because they see that this thing is something that
That will
is
benefit
going to
people.
benefit their people. But here it's about how does it benefit me. So when you think about interfacing, oh, how does it benefit this guy, this guy, and this guy, and this guy? You see, you're meeting a roadblock.
What are the issues you face as an entrepreneur in the Nigerian
Oh my
business
God.
sector?
I
It's
lived I lived
interesting.
I lived in Mauritius for 6 years, and it's it's I came to the conclusion that, as at now, it's as if the whole system is designed for what I call subjugation, in the sense that uh, things are unnecessarily difficult. Things are unnecessarily difficult, and I say that to making reference to the fact that if you want things to be easy, you have to maybe
Lobby
sort
somebody.
someone, lobby, give someone money and all that. So I was talking about Mauritius. For 6 years, after I went to school, I studied in Mauritius. I did my BSc and my masters. Now I started building a business after my developing a business. It's called Ventilon. A couple of business though. So one of them, for example, the registration process, just to register the company, I'm just giving you the basic example, was as easy as doing this in 2 days. All right. It was just for me to wait for my papers to come. But in Nigeria, it's not the same thing. Do you get? So the assessing of loan is not complicated. Um, in case of, like, in the case that you're looking for a loan, do you get what
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah. So things are just not, it's not seamless. You must at every point meet a roadblock when you want to build a business in Nigeria, and it's not an easy journey here, and it's a journey that if you don't have that mind, if you don't have that tenacity, you can easily give up, because you not just that you give up, you probably choose like a safe landing where you get a job, and at the end of the month you get a salary and things like that. So yeah, that's the Nigerian ecosystem for you.
Which is weird because for you being in Mauritius and all that, you're a foreigner
Mm.
and experiencing that ease, but being here, and I guess that's why a lot of people leave, uh, you know,
Yeah.
because by the time you try so hard to do something good, of course you're starting from you're beginning from a mind standpoint of faith and belief, and you're trying to do something only for you to hit
Mm.
unexpected and unnecessary roadblocks
Mm.
and stuff.
So you know that people, basically, this ecosystem is a place where everybody is, people think individually. They don't think on the large scale. What I mean by that is people basically want to see how something benefits them directly. If it doesn't, they don't see any essential benefit in it. That's what happens in the Nigerian space. Now, they are good side, because there are a lot of colleagues and friends I know that has built great stuff, and they've been able to navigate around this. But because you asked me, I'm just saying these are the challenges that we're seeing
Yeah, to face.
in the ecosystem, where, let's say, okay, I'll give you an example. In Mauritius, an idea came up. We wanted to do snail processing. Now, based on data again, we discovered that snail is not something they eat there. They consider it a taboo. Not just that, they feel like it's a pest in their farms. So what we did was to tell the government that we are going to harvest these snails for their local farmers and process them for export, both the serum and then the actual snail itself, and then we export it. Now they don't eat these things, but the government was willing to give us about 10 million rupees for that. Just as simple as oh, okay, this great idea, because they see that this thing is something that
That will
is
benefit
going to
people.
benefit their people. But here, it's about how does it benefit me. So when you think about interfacing, oh, how does it benefit this guy, and this guy, and this guy? You see, you're meeting a roadblock all the same, like as you're meeting different people. So that's just the way it works here. All right.
Okay, so now dealing with the challenges now, are there ways for someone who let's say, doesn't have the connections or the ability to overcome those little blocks? Are there opportunities or there are ways they can navigate through those things, or do they just keep having to give up part of their business and all those things, and pay money and give bribes and all those things?
Okay, so I think that Nigeria, um, a lot of people need to consider. Um, so the way I put it is, think about the small stuff, the boring businesses, and then scale up to do the real thing that you want to do. Now, essentially, you just know that once you are able to develop some form of resources, you'll be able to, you know, tackle the things that the real problems that you want to do. So suffice it to say, I think that people need to focus on things like building boring businesses in just for the sole purpose of growing cash. So I told somebody some time ago that something as simple as selling a car, and then with research we found out that, oh, certain locations were doing things as meager as 20,000 per day. Now that's about 500 and something thousand per month. Now, if you do that consistently for a while, you can be able to build some form of capital that you use in order to do the big stuff. So, tackling things from the point of where you're insignificant. You know, people will say, "What are you doing?"
You're easy to miss.
You're easy. You're nobody. You're not a target. Nobody is focusing on you, and then you just build from there. You know, I think is one of the essential ways to deal with the issues of Nigeria. Because, man, to be honest, there's so much problem to solve. There's so much problem you need to deal with.
And they can't stop
Do you
it
get?
all.
And yeah,
You
you
can't
can't
stop.
exactly. There's just so much problem. Nigeria is a land where, which is a good thing if you are a very a positive-minded person. It's actually a good thing because that shows that where there's a problem, you see that there's a lot of opportunity that you need to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, just last week I was talking to somebody about, you know, that the amount of problem that is in the banking sector that you can like, it's just you having that passion to deal with that. You can just try to separate each and every problem and then
tackle
deal
them.
with those problems individually, and you see that you have a business going for you there. So yeah, so to recap, I think that people need to, you know, tackle things where they become insignificant. But you know, the Nigerian mentality, I noticed that a lot of people want to do, yeah,
The
they are
big
thinking
things.
about the big things already. But I think that, and it took me time because I'm in Nigeria, and it took me time to realize that, oh, this is the way forward. Think about things in small terms. Just come to the fundamentals and then build up from there. In that way, you know, you can be able to gain and gather resources and even the momentum, the strength, the stamina to deal with the big stuff.
Bigger issues.